Good morning, class. I hope you all are good and safe at home. In the previous class, we started the second chapter, the Industrial Revolution and the Rise of Imperialism, in which we discussed the topic pre-industrial revolution, industrial revolution, features of the industrial revolution, causes of the industrial revolution in England, spread of the industrial revolution, impact of the industrial revolution, in which we discussed till social effects. We discussed till economic impact. Students, I hope you must have revised all the topics which we had discussed in the previous class. So let's start with today's class. The topics which we are going to discuss today are social effects, social inequality, harsh living conditions of the workers, exploitation of workers. These are the social effects. Then political effects, rise of the capitalist, trade unions, and the rise of the imperialism. Now we will discuss about social inequality. The economic disparity. Here disparity means inequality. The economic inequality between the rich capitalist and the poor workers led to gross social inequalities. There was a wide gulf. That means there was a great difference between the social status of the capitalist and the workers. Now, the next comes harsh living conditions of the workers. The Industrial Revolution led to the migration of people from the villages to the industrial towns in search of jobs. Because of the Industrial Revolution, the people from the villages migrated to the town, because in village they had become jobless. So in search of job they migrated to towns and cities, due to which cities grew rapidly and without any proper planning. As the population grew, the cities became overcrowded. As the workers were migrating from villages to cities, the cities became overcrowded and people were forced to live in crowded homes in dirty surroundings and without proper sanitation facilities. A large number of slums sprang up. Black smoke filled the air, and in the absence of basic amenities, the health of the workers broke down. The smoke which rose from the industries and factories, it filled the air, and due to which the health of the workers broke down. Disease and epidemics took a heavy toll of human lives. Many people lost their life due to disease and epidemics. According to a report of a slum in Manchester, all the inhabitants had died due to cholera epidemic in the early 1830s. The next is exploitation of workers. The capitalists amassed enormous wealth at the expense of the workers, the majority of whom were totally dependent on their employers. The workers were dependent on their employers, and on the basis of the workers, the capitalists earned enormous wealth. But the workers had no job security, and they could be dismissed at any time. They had no job security. They worked on very low wages and under extremely harsh conditions. The capitalists exploited the workers by forcing them to work for almost 16 hours a day. The workers were forced to work for 16 hours and without any break. They were not allowed to go on strike. Women and children were also employed in large numbers in deep and dangerous coal mines. They worked from dawn to dusk, means from morning till evening they worked, and that too on very low wages. No compensation was paid to workers for injury or death due to the accident in mines and factories. If any of the accident occurred with the workers, they were not given any compensation from the capitalist. Now we will discuss about the political effects. Rise of the capitalist. The Industrial Revolution led to the emergence of wealthy and powerful capitalist class as a dominant force in the British Parliament. Government policies were influenced by the interest of the capitalist class. Next comes the trade unions. The workers were ruthlessly exploited by the capitalist, which made the workers protest against them. What did they do? The workers united and organized themselves into trade unions to fight for their rights and better working conditions. They made a union and they thought of fighting for their rights and for better working conditions, because they have been exploited by their capitalists. So now they wanted to fight for their rights. The trade unions faced strong resistance from the employers. In many countries, the clash between the trade unions and the capitalists led to bloodshed. The struggle of the trade unions was long and challenging. The struggle of the trade union was not easy, and it was long and challenging. The vast majority of workers did not have the right to vote. Majority of workers did not have the right to vote. The determination and efforts of the trade union eventually bore fruit. That means The government passed several factory laws to improve the condition of the workers and grant them certain rights. So finally, a law was passed for the improvement of the workers and for their rights. Now we come to the rise of imperialism. What is imperialism? Imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence to other countries through the use of military force, colonization, or other means. It generally refers to the policy of takeover and domination of the political, economic, and cultural life of a weak overseas nation by a powerful nation. Imperialism implies colonialism, which is the method or practice by which a powerful country acquires control over another country, either partly or wholly. See, in the 18th and 19th centuries, the power, position, and prestige of imperial European nations depended on the extent and value of their overseas colonies. The Industrial Revolution sparked off a mad scramble for colonies in Asia and Africa. Industrial development depended on raw materials and ready markets. Colonies could be exploited to serve as constant and steady sources of raw materials for industrial production and exclusive captive markets for their finished products. These colonies could also be used as fields for investment of surplus British capital. See, by the end of the 19th century, the imperialist nation of Europe had colonized almost the whole of Asia and Africa. The scramble for colonies led to intense rivalry, fierce competition, and numerous wars among the imperial powers. These conflicts eventually gave rise to international tensions and crises that became one of the major causes for the outbreak of the First World War in 1914. Then in the 19th century, the British had started an aggressive policy of conquering territories in India. When did it started? In 19th century. This need to acquire and expand territorial possessions in India was fueled by the desperate need to sustain rapid industrial growth in Britain. Then by the middle of the 19th century, the British had conquered almost the whole of India, and India became the jewel in the British crown, and Britain was transformed into an international economic giant. The Industrial Revolution set in motion the multiple forces of imperialism in the modern world. In the race for supremacy, Britain surged ahead and emerged as the clear winner and creator of the largest and most powerful empire in the world. And empire on which the sun never set. In India, the British Empire would release strong forces to change in political dynamics, economic equations, and cultural influences made a great nation with a glorious legacy its slave and reduce it to a colonial economy for almost 200 years, which means that the British, they ruled for 200 years. They ruled India for 200 years. Children, with this we complete our second chapter. I hope you all must have understood. Please go through the chapter to make clear all the things. Thank you.